Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the BFC, where we go into the trenches of the trading world. And yes, I'm finally awake now. For those of you that joined me live earlier, it was nice. We had an update from CYBL, watched the whole video, and commented. So if you haven't had a chance yet, go on the YouTube, go on the old X account, and find that and watch it. And lots of good stuff there. But now we are here to talk about ILUS, HTOO, QIND, SAML, and DRCR. Yes, they're all interwoven. They're all together. And so it's really, really good stuff. I want to see comments from you guys. All right. Listen. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Sam. Yeah. No, I'm going to let this thing go. I'm going to let this thing go. Why the heck not? It's cold up here. Hey, Zeus, what is up? And, I got to say, like, we're getting pummeled with snow. And I gave up on the snowblower. I said, I'm done with the snowblower. Just give me the shovel because my Cub Cadet can't handle it. It's like half of it's slush up here. So, but it's cold. We're enjoying it. And, we're doing our thing here in Buffalo. So I'm excited to get through this update. I'm hopefully going to have Jord joining me. I sort of threw you guys a curveball. And normally I never change the time of my shows. If I say it's going to be at 6, it's going to be at 6. But I'm not going to lie. I'm stuck home. And I just, I already know that it wasn't an interview. And it was a pre-recorded session anyway. So I didn't want to sit around here and just do nothing other than shovel snow. So I wanted to get this thing done and just sort of break this thing down, watch it with you guys. And I want to see your comments as this video goes on. We're going to look for all the details and see if we could find the hidden breadcrumbs. I haven't even checked the market today. I've just sort of been, like I said, head in the snow out there. So I hope you guys are all having a great day. And what's up? Greetings from South Florida. 420, take it easy. I hope you're doing very, very well. And like I said, let's get right into this. I'm not going to waste any more time. We're going to play this thing. I'm going to play it straight through. And I will be taking my notes and doing the best I can. But I guarantee you I'm going to be watching this thing more than once. And I encourage you guys, whenever these big updates come out, whenever you have an hour-long video that's coming out from a company that you may have invested, let's say, $100,000 in, you might want to watch it a couple times. You check for detail. You check for language. You check for body language. You check for any specifics that you can to sort of gauge your sentiment and improve your sentiment, whether it be bullish or bearish. All right, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to press play. Let's get to this thing.
Developments, as well as on our strategy as we push forward into 2025 and beyond. So firstly, for those of you who are new to the company, Fusion Fuel Green PLC is headquartered out of Dublin, Ireland, and our operations are currently located in Spain and in the United Arab Emirates. We're also publicly listed on the Nasdaq under the ticker HTOO. So my name is John Paul Backwell, or just JP. I'm CEO of the company. I'm joined today by Gavin Jones, our Chief Financial Officer, by Federico Figueira de Chavez, our Chief Strategy Officer, and Sanjeeb Safir, the Regional Managing Director of Quality Industrial Corp, which is our newly acquired industrial and utilities subsidiary. Today's presentation will start with me introducing the business. I'll be summarizing our recent developments and what they mean for the company regarding positioning, regarding strategy, and regarding our performance going forward. And then I'll be handing over to Gavin, who will dive deeper into the financial performance and the projections before we discuss the two operating subsidiaries, with both Sanjeeb and Federico addressing our operating gas and hydrogen businesses respectively. I'll then briefly conclude with some investment highlights to recap. So just as we get into it, I'd like to thank you for your time today. I trust you'll find this session informative. And please note down any questions that you might have. We will provide an email address for you to send them to. As a company, we do have several exciting developments in the works, so we'll certainly be more active with Q&A sessions, with podcasts, with press releases and the like. I would like to keep you up to date with the rapid developments that are taking place in our business. So our presentation today does contain some forward-looking statements, and we do encourage you to read our disclaimer. You can find this presentation and the disclaimer filed publicly and on our website. So let's kick things off. So firstly, I'd like to kick things off with what I like to call the FOST facts. This section for me is perfect for anyone who wants a quick overview before we dive deeper into the details of our operating businesses and before we share insights into their operations, their synergies, and their financial performance. So firstly, who is Fusion Fuel as a company? We would call ourselves, or we consider ourselves, a full-service energy and utilities solutions provider with two operating subsidiaries which service the hydrogen and the gas sectors. Our business, as it's currently structured, addresses today's energy requirements through the delivery of gas and the provision of gas services. And we're also strategically positioned for future energy demands through the implementation of green hydrogen projects. So just to clarify, the gas we supply is widely used for cooking, for heating, for hot water systems in homes. It's also used in the likes of aerosols as a refrigerant. It's prevalent in the chemical, industrial, and agricultural sectors. Therefore, it is an energy source which is in high demand right now, and it's in high demand in the region where we operate, in the United Arab Emirates and in the Gulf region, and that demand is increasing. However, we are also aware as a business that hydrogen, and specifically green hydrogen, is the energy source of the future. So our business possesses the exceptional talents and the experience needed to engineer and implement green hydrogen projects, which we believe will be the energy source of tomorrow. Green hydrogen itself is a clean and sustainable energy source. It's produced without emitting polluting gases. And as the market for green hydrogen grows, it will become more widely used as a fuel source for vehicles, for power generation, for heating, for industrial processes, fertilizers, and much more. And we're well positioned to be part of that growth. We have been restructuring our hydrogen business, and we've cut out the draining heavy cash burn that was driven by the Portuguese entity. And we're now building forward with the provision of hydrogen engineering and advisory services for the implementation of green hydrogen projects. We're operating now with massively reduced overheads, but still with a strong project pipeline, which should bear fruit in 2025. Fusion Fuel's acquisition of QIND, and I will certainly be providing more information on the transaction shortly, we believe positions the company for profitable cash flow positive growth. We do now operate from a profitable foundation, and we can confidently deliver our growth strategy following the acquisition. We do believe that one of the key reasons behind our ability to drive growth as a public company is that with the acquisition of QIND and the consolidation of its financials, we're now Nasdaq compliant with shareholder equity of over 10 million US. And that is a very positive step forward for us as a business, and one which we're certainly going to be building on. Our operating gas business in the Middle East, Shola Gas, provides our platform for profitable growth. It was founded over 40 years ago, and it currently delivers gas to nearly 40,000 end customers. Shola Gas expects to finish this year with over $14 million in revenue, approximately 2.3 million in net income, and that's around 30% growth over its 2023 performance. So the company is certainly growing, and with its current projects in the pipeline and investment into expansion of its vehicle fleet, we expect that business to exceed 25 million in revenue next year and hit its target of 4 million in net income. And then leveraging our existing skills and experience in the implementation of green hydrogen projects, a hydrogen subsidiary called BrightHy aims to be a leading solution provider for the green hydrogen sector. So for those who don't know, actually the name Shola means bright. So we currently operate with two subsidiaries, and in simple terms, we have Bright Gas and Bright Hydrogen. While our primary focus right now is the integration and consolidation of the group and its aggressive organic growth, we are also in discussions with acquisition targets as we look to expand into the US market, and we look to also further expand in Europe and the Middle East. So we'll be certainly keeping up to date on our progress in this regard. Right, jumping on to the next slide. So this slide really shows how the company is currently structured. We have the Nasdaq listed parent company Fusion Fuel, and then we have its two subsidiaries, BrightHy Solutions and Quality Industrial Corp, QIND, which in turn owns the controlling stake in Shola Gas. So with Fusion Fuel, our vision is to be the owner and manager of multiple fast-growing, profitable businesses in the industrial and energy sectors. We're certainly committed to driving sustainable growth in tomorrow's energy market by leveraging the demands of today's energy market. And understanding this point for me is really important for investors, in my humble opinion. Many of us genuinely want a clean energy future for our children and for future generations. However, as long as clean energy solutions aren't in high demand from end customers, it becomes quite challenging for companies that provide these solutions to thrive without government support. So that situation can lead, when governments are constantly having to provide subsidies to renewable energy and sustainable energy companies, that situation leads to increased taxes and higher living costs, which creates a cycle that's hard to break. So to ensure a renewable energy company can succeed without relying on subsidies and costly financing, it has to meet today's energy needs while it strategically prepares to lead the transition to a cleaner energy landscape as public demand grows. So that's truly at the heart of what Fusion Fuel is doing today, and I certainly believe it paints an exciting picture for the company's future. As you can see on the right, we have QIND. It's a publicly listed SEC reporting company with its operating business, Shola Gas. QIND provides solutions for the industrial and utility sectors. It's currently offering comprehensive services to the gas sector in the Middle East, and meanwhile, BrightHy Solutions, or Bright Hydrogen Solutions on the left, delivers expertise for implementing green hydrogen projects, primarily focusing on Europe, but also we're exploring opportunities in the Middle East. Its revenue comes from advisory and engineering services, specialized equipment sales, and project services. Now, the Bright Hydrogen team is led by some very experienced professionals. Frederico is certainly going to be explaining more about what makes this team special and why they're a key part of our growth plans going forward. But the merging of these two subsidiaries under Fusion Fuel is what's crafting an innovative full-service energy and utilities, what I would call powerhouse, that's not only able to thrive today, but is also set for a very bright future ahead. So in terms of that transaction, let's take a look at the recent news and what has brought us to this current position as a company. So on the 26th of November, Fusion Fuel acquired a 69.36% stake in Quality Industrial Corp, or QIND. I mentioned that QIND is publicly traded. It's traded on the OTC markets. It's an SEC reporting company, as I said, trades under the ticker QIND. And Fusion Fuel is now the majority owner of QIND. For us, this transaction is transformative for the company. It was completed by both parties, primarily due to the significant synergies between the gas and utilities business of QIND and the hydrogen business of Fusion Fuel. These synergies extend beyond the obvious energy sector connections to various operational synergies resulting from this collaboration. For instance, QIND has a team of engineers and designers that can be leveraged by Bright Hydrogen for hydrogen initiatives. And even on the public company side, efficiencies can certainly be realized, for example, with auditors and lawyers, all of which helps reduce our operating costs and enhances our productivity as a company. And then, as I've mentioned a few times already, this transaction provides a profitable platform for us to scale up the Fusion Fuel business globally, and we're already able to be driving this strategy forward. And very importantly, this transaction makes us Nasdaq compliant regarding our shareholders' equity, and it enables us to deliver value to our shareholders. So just summarizing the transaction for you, for its roughly 70% stake in QIND, Fusion Fuel issued a combination of common and preferred shares. Those preferred shares convert to ordinary shares upon their applicable regulatory and shareholder approvals. To ensure the fair valuation of QIND, Fusion Fuel obtained an independent fairness opinion, and that fairness opinion supports the transaction. On closing of the transaction, Fusion Fuel is now the majority owner of QIND, as I've said, and it's consolidating its operations and its financials. So simply put, and this is my view, this transaction has turned around a company that was struggling financially and that was facing the risk of being delisted from Nasdaq. We've cut down on our overhead costs quite significantly, and we've laid a strong, profitable foundation, while we've also created valuable synergies with our legacy business. So it's certainly a very exciting shift that empowers us to grow internationally with energy solutions that are not only in demand today, but also sets us on the path to becoming a leader in the clean energy future. Overall, we're certainly, as management, very confident that this transaction paves the way for Fusion Fuel to drive future growth and value for our shareholders. Right, so moving on to the next slide. This really just sums up our business lines after the QIND transaction. Yes, we're certainly pleased to share that Fusion Fuel now includes the industrial and utility subsidiary, as well as its green energy solutions subsidiary. And that's where we are today. But as I've mentioned before, our vision is to own and nurture multiple fast-growing and profitable companies in the industrial and energy sectors. So we'll certainly be expanding our reach quite aggressively. We'll be starting with our Shola Gas, which will be expanding into the provision of natural gas to its clients. But we're also looking to grow strategically through acquisitions, for example, in the renewables and upstream gas sectors. So we're certainly not confined to just the two subsidiaries that are shown here on the screen. Our main emphasis currently lies in the organic growth of our gas services and supply business, alongside our hydrogen engineering and advisory services business. We've also streamlined our overhead costs, as I've mentioned, with the legacy fusion business to align with our new commercial strategy of offering a comprehensive strategy or comprehensive range of green energy solutions to our clients. And ultimately, our company is now very well positioned to serve clients throughout the energy and utilities value chain, delivering both traditional and clean energy solutions. And then finally, before I hand over to our CFO, the fusion fuel of today, we believe, delivers a powerful and strategic business combination for the future of energy. I'll summarize why I believe this to be the case. We have two complementary operating subsidiaries that create a pathway from today's energy solutions to tomorrow's next generation of carbon-free energy. We possess a near-term profitable bridge through our Shola Gas, which supports our transition as a company toward cleaner energy. Our hydrogen business can leverage the infrastructure, the distribution channels, the operational expertise, and the resources that are available in our long-standing gas business. And then our gas distribution network and our relationships will also be utilized to support Bright Hydrogen's growth in the Middle East, where hydrogen solutions are certainly drawing significant investment. And with our large gas client base, we're exploring and capitalizing on substantial opportunities through our shared networks, our shared contacts and relationships in both business and government. Our combined business now presents a high growth opportunity that is driven by near-term high demand for LPG, while simultaneously being well positioned to deliver the hydrogen and energy solutions of the future. And then finally, I'd say we're confident that we've created an energy innovator that provides today's proven and in-demand solutions and also delivers tomorrow's energy solutions. We're now doing this without reliance on endless government subsidies and significant dilutive investments. And that, I believe, makes us a front runner in the global shift towards cleaner, more sustainable energy in a manner which we believe is appealing to both consumers and investors. So that's it from my side for now. I'll hand over to our CFO, Gavin Jones, and he'll provide an overview of the consolidated financial performance and future projections of the company. After this, Sanjeeb and Federico will share their insights, and I'll be back at the end to summarize and to conclude. So thanks. Over to you, Gavin.
Thank you, JP. Good afternoon or morning to all of you who have joined this investor update presentation. For those of you who are new to Fusion Fuel, my name is Gavin Jones and I'm the Chief Financial Officer. This slide sets out the group's financial targets for 2025 and 2026, which consider the hydrogen operating business as well as the recently acquired Quality Industrial Corp. We are anticipating consolidated revenues of 26 million euros in 2025, of which 24 million euros will come from Quality Industrial Corp's operating subsidiary, Shola Gas, and 2 million euros coming from BrightHy. As you may appreciate, the transaction that JP has just summarized will result in increased professional fees during the first half of 2025. So we have just called out our estimate of those costs in the 2025 figures. In 2026, the Shola Gas entity is forecasting growth of 40%, while the hydrogen entity is forecasting significant growth as 2025 is expected to be a year of developing the offering and securing orders for 2026. From a Fusion Fuel perspective, the holding company will have a leaner cost base going forward, and we expect certain synergies with Quality Industrial Corp from a public company cost perspective, as JP mentioned earlier. As you will see from this slide, we are forecasting a profitable group in 2026. Sanjeeb and Federico will go into both the Shola Gas and BrightHy entities a little later in the presentation. In May of this year, we received a deficiency notice from Nasdaq regarding our shareholders' equity. Under the listing rules of the Nasdaq Global Market, companies are required to maintain a minimum of $10 million in shareholders' equity. We had 45 days to submit a plan to Nasdaq to regain compliance. On review of our plan, Nasdaq provided us with the maximum extension of 180 days. As we were unable to provide evidence of recompliance by November 4th, Nasdaq issued a delisting determination. We appealed this decision and our hearing will be heard early in the new year. Following our decision to appeal, the delisting determination has no immediate impact on the listing of our ordinary shares, which continue to trade on the Nasdaq Global Market under the symbol HTOO. Based on pro forma calculations, management believes that we will regain compliance following the acquisition of Quality Industrial Corp. Going forward, we expect to transfer to the Nasdaq Capital Market, which has lower thresholds for shareholders' equity. The company will make a public announcement once the appeals process has concluded. The purpose of this slide is to provide an updated picture of our shares in issue. The restricted shares relate to the portion of shares issued to certain Quality Industrial Corp shareholders who received preferred shares as part of the transaction. These shares require shareholder approval before they can convert to ordinary shares. I will now pass you over to Sanjeev, who is the Managing Director at Shola Gas, for an introduction of the operating business.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. This is Sanjeev Safir, the Managing Director at Shola Gas, based in Dubai, UAE. Happy to be presenting the part of Shola story to all of you. Shola Gas has always been driven by the vision that the founders set forth when the company was started way back in the early 1980s. So our vision always has been to excel in the field that we are, provide the best of systems, always putting high importance to safety and sustainability. The mission of the company has been to deliver the best of solutions that surpasses our customer requirements. We always ensured that we gave more than what our customers are expecting in terms of safety, security, and the quality of the products that we undertake. The motto of the company is to empower the customers with the best of safety, to create a trust and loyalty that makes us a better and the best option of us. And this, with all these things, we drive the growth of the company moving forward. So I'll just give you an overview on Shola Gas. Shola Gas was started by Mr. Safir Ahmed and Mr. Mohammed Hilal in the early 1980s. It's almost, we are going to touch 4 decades in operations in Dubai, UAE. We started our business with distribution of LPG cylinders, followed by we developed individual verticals which are self-sustaining. At the same time, it puts everything under one umbrella. After the cylinder distribution, then we focus more into the engineering aspect of the gas systems, the LPG systems, wherein we design, develop, install the systems. Following with, as the market has been changing in Dubai, it's a very dynamic market that we have in Dubai. Everyone wants the best of things faster, quicker, and as and how they want it. So we moved into the bulk LPG, wherein the infrastructure of the area changed in such a way that cylinders were getting reduced and the bulk LPG was getting into the picture. And that grew. And we took the right time to make sure that we are part of that growth that Dubai is bringing forward to. Following the engineering, the cylinder, the engineering and the bulk aspect, then we moved on to the utility part of the LPG. Unlike many countries in Dubai and most of the UAE Emirates except for Sharjah, utility, LPG based utility is all privately developed and managed. So as a private player, we have all the opportunities to reach the best in the market, to provide the best of solution in terms of utility. And utility cooking is something that is required by everyone. Electricity is not a viable option in this country because of the price spectrum between the LPG and the electric part of the things. As and how we started, when we started way back in 1980, we started with 3 employees and a manager. Today, we have over 140 people working with us from different aspects of our 5 different standalone verticals. We are supported by a fantastic fleet of updated fleet in terms of the trucks that allows us to procure our LPG, distribute it to our clients, and manage the entire operations. So we have dedicated trucks for the LPG distribution, a dedicated bobtails for the bulk LPG, and then we have dedicated stores wherein we have the entire setup for our engineering activities, the storage of the goods and storage of other safety materials. And all these activities are governed by 5 major authorities of Dubai. To do a proper LPG distribution company in Dubai, you need to be approved by the Dubai Supreme Council, by the Economic Department, by the Civil Defense, by the RTA, and by Dubai Police. So all these things makes us so much better in terms of ensuring the safety and the products that we're dealing, keeping in mind the volatility of what LPG is. So this has always made us better, these requirements, the regulations from the authority. And that has really made the company to be one of the leading companies when it comes to safety aspects. I'm very proud to say that in this 40 years of providing service in this country, we have never had to face any serious accidents or mishaps, because that is the kind of process and procedures and protocols that's been put in by the company to ensure that our operations that starts from 6:30 a.m. in the morning all the way up to 11:30 p.m. in the evening goes as smooth, as safe as possible. That is an integral part of our day-to-day operations, and that is something which Shola Gas do not compromise. And along with this, we've been certified by the Dubai Civil Defense to ensure that we have the right skill sets, the right manpower to carry out all these works in terms of engineering, in terms of distribution, because all our team members are trained and certified every year, irrespective of how many years they've been working in the company. Every year, the drivers are trained for safe driving capacities. The technicians are trained on all the activities, the welding capacity, how they handle the LPG, how they handle the cylinders. And the maintenance team is again trained and verified on their knowledge and update of these things. And most of our technicians, they have undertaken the exams and the training requirements of DCD and all the other authorities. To put more importance to our process and procedures, the company has been ISO certified since 2012. So our documentations, our process procedures are very well documented and implemented. And these are things which are reviewed internally every year to ensure that we are on top of things, so that we are never left behind in terms of providing the service to the end user. In all these years, we cater our services recurring to over 40,000 customers, 36,000 to 40,000 customers. And some of the prominent names are detailed at the below, as you can see on the slide. Some of the major property developers like MR, Nakil, Shoba, Wasser, government entities like RTA, Dubai Government, HK, Dubai Properties. We are very proud to say that they are our customers and clients, and these are relationship that has spanned well over 20 to 25 years in some case. Going to individual details, how our activities are differentiated into different verticals. Centralized gas system, this basically is the engineering aspects of our activity, wherein we design, install, maintain, and operate. This is the most common model that is being done for projects. And projects means this could be multi-use buildings, residential, commercial, purely commercial, like shopping centers, malls, industries like factories, glass factories. Then we have schools, hospitals, you name across the domain what is required. Shola is able to provide a solution for in terms of LPG requirements. And we are one of the leading solution providers in the market right now. On an average, currently our skill sets and our team strength allows us to hand over up to 6,000 apartments a year, complete tested, commissioned, and ready for operational. The other vertical, the one that the company started, was LPG cylinder distribution. This is majority end users. 70% of the sales goes to the individual apartments, and the rest of them goes to certain restaurants, small factories, and things like that. Then the bulk gas supply is the sector that is really growing, and this is where we see our more focus that's going to be there. And bulk supply, it could be for buildings, it could be for individual restaurants, individual factories, and anything that requires LPG. Then comes the design and consultation part, in wherein the skill sets that has been developed across the last 40 years. Some of the engineers that works with us are considered to be the industry leaders. So we do get called by specialized consultants during any special projects comes in, how the LPG system needs to be designed. And there are some of the very prime projects in Dubai where Shola has provided the design and the calculations for an effective and safe LPG system. Supply installation is part of that. Then the last part comes in, where is the maintenance and support for the entire LPG installation that we do. That is another standard practice that we do, that systems that has been installed by us, we ensure that we provide an extended maintenance and support system to ensure the life of each and every system is increased to the maximum potential. Moving towards the market focus, the majority of our focus in terms of gas, when you think it's mostly the midstream and the downstream, wherein downstream is the end users that we use it. So majority of our customers are always the end user that the gas is being provided to. So we ensure that we develop robust infrastructures. Then we have the facility to mobilize systems from point of origin to these infrastructures to be used by the end users, and in the most safe and the most sustainable way possible. Now, moving forward to our growth plans, this is something we have put a lot of energy and effort into it. We have segregated our plans as to an organic growth, which has taken us from a company that on the first day sold 3 cylinders to the current position where we undertake up to over 1,200 metric tons of LPG distribution, doing over 1.5 million dirhams of engineering works every month. Cylinder distribution, which is about 150 metric tons, and the maintenance and things like that. So that has been an organic growth that the company has taken. As part of the organic growth, what we are looking forward to is initial part would be the market expansion to the uh, immediate Emirates of Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quain, Ajman, and Fujairah and Ras Al Khaimah. Then other part, the next step in our activities are product diversification, wherein apart from LNG, we are looking into other gas forms which are used as fuel. LNG systems are there, CNG systems are there, natural gas systems are there. So these are things which are being very deeply studied internally by the company to ensure that we reach the right product which has the best potential in the market. And along with that thing, we do have cross-selling of our items, wherein with other divisions and things that we have, we are able to cross-sell for projects LPG, which is not required. Then we can advise them and make that happen along with that thing. Moving from an other part of the organic growth that we would want to put into is get into the aspect of trading in specialized products, which is related to LPG system. That is another aspect that we are looking into. In coming into the strategic growth, the primary focus would be mergers and acquisitions of competitor company, which we feel that we can improve our volumes and bring them into the best of practices and safety procedures, which currently they may not be practicing. So that is one thing that we are looking, along with vertical integration and strategic partnership with the government of these Emirates, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, wherein we educate them, we give them options to have a new systems in place which are more safe and sustainable. And especially the UAE government is putting in a lot of effort and money and investments to ensure that the sustainability and the environment friendliness of the country increases dramatically. They have a zero carbon target of 2035 in certain aspects, in certain government departments, even as early as 2030. So we could be integral part of these kind of developments which are driven by the government. That is very important moving forward. Coming to all these things, what we have in place with the plans to grow, we have a robust target in mind to be, which we are sure to achieve. And we have been doing from our if you look at our 2023 numbers to 2024 numbers, we would be achieving about 28 to 30% of growth in revenues as well as in the net profit. So we are looking to hit the targets that was put in place at the beginning of the year. And 2025, with all the plans that we have in place and the teams and the support system that we are going to have, our robust target is to achieve about 25 to 26 million dollars in sales and revenues. Accordingly, the net profit also, our target is to achieve around 15 to 16% of our target revenues. Similarly, for 2026, we are projecting a sales upwards of 35 million USDs with a net profit of again between 15 to 17% of the sales revenue. So these are few things that we are strongly confident about, and as we have achieved the 2024 targets, we are all set forth to achieve the targets for 2025, 2026, and many years ahead. We have a fantastic team. The management and the guidance and the board teams are so inclusive in all our decision making, and the kind of the experience they bring in. This will ensure that we achieve these robust targets that we have laid out for us. And we are looking forward to make sure that we hit those numbers without fail. Thank you. And I will be handing over this to Federico, the CEO at BrightHy. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and watching this video here today. I also want to take this opportunity before I go into our hydrogen solutions business to address some of our Fusion Fuel shareholders that have been with us through quite a long time and realize that it's been around 6 months since we've last updated you all directly. So clearly the last 6 months have been a pretty busy and tormentous few months. As you're all well aware, we were going through a process of securing capital for many months now, and in August we ended up signing a capital commitment that later on the investor unfortunately breached the timeline of the agreements with us, putting us in a pretty dire cash flow position. Therefore, we needed to strongly and very drastically reposition our business. So we addressed the issue head on. We restructured the hydrogen business significantly. We made the Portuguese entity insolvent. This was the main entity with the industrial activities and the production of the HEVO, as you may all remember. And we restructured the business to really focus on the core element of the hydrogen engineering and hydrogen solutions business that I will go into today. The result of this was that we actually reduced the operational costs of the group by nearly 90%, between 80 to 90%. So a massive reduction in the operations of the company. This obviously was a fairly painful thing to do, as you can all appreciate, over the last few months with layoffs and needing to restructure entities and also contracts with clients, but certainly necessary given the position that we were in. We were also fortunate enough to enter into the transaction with QIND, allowing us to now have a profitable platform for growth. And as you all heard from Sanjeev, bringing with it a very interesting business in the gas space that has synergies and a lot of opportunities for cross-pollination with a hydrogen solutions business. So that is a little bit of the overview of the last few months, which were very painful, we admit, but we've managed to come out the other end with a significantly restructured business on a profitable platform and now positioned for growth with a much reduced cash burn rates and operating cost side. So with this, we've also created BrightHy Solutions. That is our company that's being newly formed within Fusion Fuel. It really focuses on our core heritage and repositioning the business that we have all around our hydrogen engineering and our hydrogen solutions business. It's a company that aims to be the main strategic partner for the implementation of hydrogen projects in the future. So through our knowledge and experience from our Fusion Fuel heritage, we're uniquely positioned to capture market share in this industry. There is a scarcity of knowledge and experience, in particular for the installation and the creation of small to medium-sized green hydrogen projects. Projects tend to be created by developers or users that do not have the in-house ability to execute the projects alone. We spoke about this last time we addressed our shareholders, but 80% of Fusion Fuel's hydrogen pipeline consists of projects and clients that needed a full service provider, someone who could install a plant safely in a timely manner, but was involved right from the conception of the project. This is something that is rare in the industry. Most of the engineering capacity that's out there is for very large, full-sized projects of 100 million plus. in the small to medium-sized project scale, there is a void of experienced players in the market. So the industry, as you can see there, is starting to take off, and BrightHy will position itself to capture this growth as one of the few players that has already established and designed various plants today. So we aim to be a partner across the entire value chain, from the design to implementation. As I want to recall, we were the first company to establish a green hydrogen project in Portugal, the second in Iberia in general. We're the only company that has installed multiple projects across Southern Europe to date. So we have a wealth of experience that is unmatched in the small to medium-sized hydrogen plant space. So I want to address a little bit the scope of services. So as mentioned, we want to be able to service our clients right from the advisory part, where the project is conceived, the proposal of the project starts to be born, the engineering studies start to be performed, as well as being able to support them in the procurement and sourcing of equipment. Right? Every hydrogen plant is unique, needing specialized equipment for it, be it the electrolyzer itself, where we have unmatched experience, having not only run them, but we also produced electrolyzers. So we know the ins and outs of that industry. But even the compressors, the storage, all of this has to be tailor-made for the projects. And we have a wealth of experience in securing and sourcing and having the right partners for those equipments. All through construction legalization for a project, and then even the O&M when the project is running. So this is a service that very few can do, and we now can provide the best-in-class solution for every challenge. So as you may recall, as we've said in the past, that not every electrolyzer, not every equipment is fit for every purpose. We now have the ability to source the best-in-class solution for the challenge. Through our history and our expertise, we have a number of BrightHy is actually born with the benefit of having a very live pipeline already from day one. So the fusion fuel pipeline of projects that needed solutions partners can be fully sort of passed on to BrightHy. So we start right from the beginning with a number of tier one and very successful companies looking for their partners that we've been engaging with for a long time now. So this ranges from the full project services, so EPC. So this goes right from the beginning all the way through to commissioning and installing of the plant, as well as advisory services for simply players who want us to vet what they are doing in this space to see how we can help them with their own solution or with their own execution. So this is one of the big benefits of BrightHy, is it doesn't start at step zero. It gets to build upon all the work that was done at Fusion Fuel throughout these years and hits the road running from day one. So we know that we can already create substantial value for these clients, these partners, as we've had a long-standing relationship with them, but also we can create value for shareholders quickly as this gets up and running right from the start. One of the obviously lessons learned that we had, and being as cautious as we can with our funds, we're looking to keep our operating costs as low as possible. So for this, especially in the first year or two, we will lean heavily on a sort of partnership model for certain activities and roles. So there are core activities that we will have in-house, and we will look to work with partners in certain activities, so be it sort of control and instrumentation, some process engineers, etc. So we will look to outsource those in line with the number of projects that we will execute, rather than bringing those all in-house on day one. Later on, we can bring more of these activities in-house, but we will start with a partnership model. Now, the great thing of the QIND transaction, and with what Sanjeev showed before, is that we will look to also partner closely with Shola with the engineering capabilities they have to see where they can enter into this partnership model. So as much as possible, we will try and cross-pollinate across the group on our engineering capabilities. Obviously, with the decades of experience that Shola has, then this will be a great foundation for BrightHy also to build its partnership model and specialist sourcing model from. So now to inform you about the BrightHy sort of financial targets. So as noted, we hit the ground running with targeting to do around 2 million of revenues right from year one, so from next year, with significantly lower operating costs. As I mentioned, we've reduced the operating cost of the hydrogen business by around 90% with the restructuring of the business. So we aim to have be well and truly on our way to be profitable in 2026. So as you will recall, and as you will know, that hydrogen projects take multiple years to execute. So the numbers you see here are all from pipeline and projects, and this is probability weighted as well, from all existing projects that we are already working with clients on. So this is not a desire that we will bring in 5 projects that we don't know where they come from. This is specifically only includes projects that we are well and truly engaged with already, and ensures that we have a very solid and conservative base to build the BrightHy Solutions business from. So we're very, very much looking forward to this and to this challenge. The revenue targets can also move up as we have not included a significant number of equipment sales. We've really mainly focused on the engineering services for the projects. But if we are, and we expect to also hire to do equipment provision for the projects, those revenue numbers will shift substantially upwards. So it's a very promising start for BrightHy after what was a rather painful process. Excited now that we have distilled the hydrogen business to this core function, and that we can build together with Sanjeev, JP, and the rest of the team into what is going to be I think, exciting future as this market develops. So with that, I thank everyone for your time, your attention, and I will pass back to JP for closing. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Federico. The company certainly overcome some significant challenges and is shaping up to be a bright future for Fusion Fuel. So I understand that you've received a lot of information today. So what I'll do is just briefly recap and conclude with a few of Fusion Fuel's investment highlights. We operate a profitable gas business with strong cash flow, and we service nearly 40,000 customers across the Middle East region. Our current operations are in a high demand sector, and our solid growth trajectory means we have a robust revenue outlook with profits in 2025. Our operating gas business is very well established in Dubai, and the economic boom that is taking place across that Gulf region continues to drive both demand and growth in the gas sector, which we supply. Also, the restructuring of our hydrogen business has drastically reduced our overheads, and with Bright Hydrogen Solutions, we believe we are very well positioned to provide a full suite of clean energy solutions for the future. And from that position of strength, we believe we're able to spearhead a sustainable energy transition as we shift towards both natural gas and hydrogen solutions. We're also evaluating and negotiating with acquisition targets in the US, in Europe, and in the Middle East. For us, the strategic growth through M&A is very important to bolster onto our organic growth as a company, and also to diversify our operations across the energy and utility sectors. And finally, we are committed to delivering both the near-term value drivers and the long-term potential for our investors. I'd like to believe that this presentation clearly shows how we will go about achieving these objectives. So I'd like to thank you for your time today. We certainly appreciate your attention, and we hope you will continue this journey with us as our company unfolds its next chapter and as we actively scale up our business. We'll keep you updated, and we look forward to sharing more of our progress with you soon. So from my side, thanks again, and bye for now.
All right, so that was pretty meaty, and I know a lot of people are probably thinking like they want to hear more about the stock, or want to hear more about the share exchange agreement. But I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I got like 4 pages of notes. Now, listen, I'm probably going to go back and listen to that another time or two, just because I know I probably missed something for a fact. I'm one of those people that has to read something over and over just to make sure I comprehend it. But let's take a look at what you guys think. Put your comments in here. That's why I'm doing this, guys, is to have a community with you. I could sit here all day long. It doesn't matter. What matters is your thoughts and where you guys are coming from. This is a big stock that we've been covering for a while. So let me go to the chat. I know that we had some comments here. Passport X just sounds like a bunch of jibber jabber. ILUS has lost its original identity. Who knows what's going on? So to address that, this is just one part of ILUS. I'm not sure. You may not be aware. Maybe you are. This is the QIND portion that they said that they were going to launch to the big board at Nasdaq, and so they've done that through HTOO. So they've took a company that was essentially going to get delisted, and they brought shareholder equity to it because they needed to maintain that minimum of 10 million. Now, one thing I do want to make aware is that we need to understand that these things sort of do take time. And I know that we are all thinking, especially being a big QIND shareholder now, I waited for my buy, and I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I want to hear more about that share equity piece. But I think it all comes back to, them addressing it after that appeals process is complete. So, all right, where did I start here? Who else had a comment? Jas. We'll go first if no one else will. While we thought, great to get confirmation that shareholder equity now exceeds Nasdaq requirements, so downgrade delisting is no longer a concern. And I agree with that. We want to get that HTOO share price as high as possible, and I know that they do too. So that's important. So we'll see what happens. Jord will be on the BFC at some point, and we're gonna talk about this, and we'll probably break it down even further. Of course, sorry I couldn't make it, but cheers to you, Jord. I hope you're having a good day out there. And let's see. Was there ever a video? I do agree that it was great that delisting of HTOO is off the table now for shareholder equity. So don't let it happen again, Wayward, my good neighbor. No. so I'm excited about what's going on. I think that the biggest word that came to mind, watching that whole presentation was profitability. And so I think Shola is really exciting. I love how he recapped it at the end. And by the way, I did text JP while we were watching that presentation, and I asked him to email me the actual PowerPoint presentation of that. I will put that up in the Discord so that way you guys could have it. I literally copied it as we were going through. Here, wait 1 second. Can someone confirm that there was or wasn't a BFC video? My screen says video unavailable. You are commenting on it right now. You are in the video. You're in the video right now. Congratulations. So he probably doesn't see it. Maybe it has to reload. I don't know why that is the case. Sorry for that. I don't know what's going on, but the video is here and you just made an appearance. But I literally copied all of these slides as we are going on straight through. Oh, that's George's slide. So they broke down the business units nice. I thought this is what I want to see regularly from a company. I want them to talk about the foundation of the company, what technologies they have, what their operational synergies are, the market expansion. Like what is their plan? What is their cost? What's their revenue? What's cost? What's your profit and loss? There's lots of great stuff. Now, I'm not going to go through each and every one of these because we already just did that. But this is what I want from a company. We want regular updates. How are they going to expand their business? How is their business going? Having a presence is the most important thing for a company, especially a publicly traded one. You don't want to just appear once every quarter. You want to be communicating regularly with your shareholders. And I know the ILUS conglomerate of stocks, that's what we want. So it's nice to see things, in regards to the nuts and bolts of the business. And I got to say, Shola, it was nice to hear from Sanjeev. It was nice to hear from Federico and everybody. Like, it was nice to hear from the whole group. And so that's what we need more of. And I think that's very, very important. I like the fact that we're talking about Shola. People forget, that they are profitable and they're looking to increase that profitability to 2026, and that's exciting. That's exciting stuff. But this is just one portion of what quality is. So don't forget. And I think that I'm going to get to the last slide. I'm going to get to the last slide in a second because I thought he summed it up pretty nicely. But I thought it was a great presentation. Yeah, the pixels is I screenshotted it so it's not as clear, but I did get that presentation. I'm going to drop it in the Discord so you guys could have it. I love hearing Gavin Jones talk about. Oh my gosh, hang on, wait 1 second. BrightHy, sorry, I forgot it for a second. I like how he talked about BrightHy and basically how they're going to spring off of Fusion Fuel, and they talked about how they basically talk about they're the only ones that help them through the whole entire process. So in the value chain, so that's important. Let me see, and they did learn lessons on operating costs. That's what we want to hear. Let's see, where was the slide that showed the profitability? Okay, so in 2025, that BrightHy is going to probably have a loss of 1.3 million, but that's going to be reversed by 2026. And so they're looking at 3.1 million profit that's projected. So let's go to the chat real quick. There was a lot there. I'm going to watch that again, definitely. All right, so what do we have here? Michael Singleton. Here it is. Wait, there's some good ones. There's some juicy ones here. Oh, yeah. This is blah, blah, blah after 3 years all. Well, yeah, no, if you're not happy with where they're at, sell it. Yeah, definitely sell it and move on. You know, I'm doubling down. I'm going to, this is one that's, I'm either going to be really smart or I'm going to be an idiot, I guess, and lose money. But I have conviction in these guys. I think that they're going to do a great job. I think, hey, QIND is now listed with an HTOO on the Nasdaq, and we are waiting for a share exchange agreement, and that is going to be very good, not only for QIND shareholders. If you own these subsidiaries of ILUS, not only if you own these subsidiaries, but if you're invested in ILUS, this all gets transferred up to the ILUS books, and that's very important for the bottom line for ILUS. So I look at it as a positive. So it's sort of funny. Yeah, it's sort of funny. So yeah, if you're not happy with the direction that they're going, then it's definitely not the company for you. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm adding. So either I'm going to be a genius or an idiot. So I'll take it or leave it, and I'll die on the hill. And by the way, there's lots of stocks out there. There's lots of companies out there. So find the one that's right for you, and find there's many to choose from. Trade them, swing them, hold them long, do what you got to do. Let's see. It will be interesting how ILUS and SAML continue to develop. Yeah, and I'm heavy in SAML too. I want to hear more from that. I hope they just don't throw it to the wayside. But I know that I think is a great play right now where it's at. I think it's at a good buy point. I'm not going to really talk about the stock itself today. I'm just talking about basically how things are aligning themselves. So, sure. One more hurdle behind us, the additional funding options and Shola will help with liquidity. And I agree. That's the fact. So that's important. Let's see. We are restructuring our hydrogen business, and the simultaneous acquisition of QIND positions us for a profitable, cash flow, positive growth. Yes. Yep. And that's the whole. And they said, and what did they say right here? They talked about how they had to get rid of the Portuguese entity. They reduced operating costs by 89%. Frederico called it tremendous. All right. So they know. They were going upstream without a paddle, or downstream without a paddle. How the hell does that phrase go? Up shit's creek. Let's just put it that way. So they had to get positive shareholder equity. That's where the QIND element came in. And he did talk about how the transaction is going to be cross-pollinating. And so I think that these business units are going to help each other grow. And so, yeah, no, I think that I'm just reading it again. No, that's where I'll just reaffirm what I just said. They cut their costs, and they've learned from lessons learned on operating costs. That's exactly what he said. They talk about using the external partner model, and so that's what you want to see from a company. You want to see them. All right, how do we screw up, and how are we going to do this better next time? The additional acquisitions will be another exciting aspect of their growth. Now, anybody that has half a brain knows that this is where the big surprise or big element comes in, because they are supposed to be announcing acquisitions. So if they bring in, let's say they are able to complete Quality International. Let's say they get funding to complete the Quality International acquisition. Now you're talking about adding $150 million in revenues to the book. So, I mean, that's just going to increase. I would think that would increase the value of the share exchange, which is now valued at about 26 cents, give or take. If you know the exact number, throw it in there, which means that's your share conversion. But I think it could go higher if they have another substantial acquisition. Once that appeals process goes through, and that's water under the bridge, now we could work on getting QIND 100% into HTOO. Get those shares converted, be done. No more one leg in the Nasdaq, the other leg in the OTC. That's how I look at it. So Shola was profitable with $11 million in revenue and $1.8 million in net income in 2023. More growth to come. Yeah. So 2024 looks good. 2025 looks good. Their projections look very, very nice. So overall, with this presentation, like I said, I'm gonna listen to it again. But we've been covering ILUS, we've been covering QIND, SAML, DRCR, HTOO. We've been all over this one for years, and so I will die on this hill, or I will thrive. And so I think many of us, we're positioning ourselves nicely with the stock, especially with the retracement, with the pullback. And we're not even going to call it a pullback. With basically, it's been trending downwards for a year and a half. So there's people that are like, oh, this sucks. I'm not averaging down. I'll wait for the stock to go up again and cash out. Or there's people like me and Jordan out there that say, all right, well, we believe in the company. We believe in the management team. What do we do as an investor? Well, I'm going to double down on when the things are knocked, when your favorite stock is beat to hell, then you just buy it up, So I don't know. That's where I'm at, and we'll see how it plays out. But as for now, we want to hear about the water under the bridge. We want that appeals process to go through. We want the HTOO share price to go up. We want to hear an acquisition, and finally, we want to make sure that share exchange agreement gets executed. That's where we're at. I'm excited about it. You should be excited about it if you're an investor. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're like Lee Spino. Maybe you blah blah blah. Maybe you don't like it. All right, so then you're like, I'm not doing this. I'm moving on. I'm going to sell my shit. I mean, I don't know. So that's that. I thought it was a very good update. I like to see the business updates. I want to see more. I want them to communicate regularly. It's important for the whole ILUS conglomerate. They plan on having a shareholder meeting. I hope it's a good shareholder meeting. I hope there's lots of positive things to talk about it. And, like I was talking with Joe before, I don't think they're going to put themselves out there for a shareholder meeting if they don't have much to talk about. We don't need a funeral to go to. We need a nice positive shareholder meeting to go to where the share price is up, people have been made whole, and we're happy as investors. And trust me, they know that. And I know they're working hard. So that's my belief. And so I'm going to keep doubling down, as I like to say. I'm going to keep investing where I'm going to keep putting my money where my mouth is. But like I said, there's lots of stocks out there, guys. We covered CYBL earlier. We just covered ILUS. And we have some big updates, coming in early January. So make sure, if you haven't subscribed to the BFC, we're just getting started, and it's been a great year. It's been a great year. I thank all of you guys, and I look forward to an even bigger 2025. But yes, it will. ASM will be awesome. 2025 roadmap. Post mergers will be illuminating. I like that. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. So if you're in the Discord, I'm going to get that presentation over to you momentarily. And that's all I got. This is all I got. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Kwanzaa. Happy New Year. This is it, I think, for 2024. Maybe I'll throw another one in here, but we're wrapping this up. Make sure you give a follow, like, share, subscribe. It's been real. It's been real. All right. And remember, there is more that binds us than breaks us. Peace out, homeboys and girls.